Everyone, welcome to the Royce Reports. I'm your host, Royce, and today I'm going to be giving you my top 5 games that were showing off at the Xbox Game Showcase. So, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so we all have our own expectations set for the Xbox Game Showcase, and mine were set pretty high. And even though they were set very high, I think Xbox nailed it. I think they hit it out of the park. And if I had to give this showcase a rating, I would give it a strong 9 out of 10. There were some things that I was kind of hoping to see that didn't end up coming true at all. You know, I was hoping for a Fable remastered trilogy or a Gears of War remastered trilogy, something of that nature. Didn't get any of that, sadly, but we did get a lot of games and a lot of Xbox Game Pass announcements. So it was nonetheless still a great show. I had to pick 5 of the games that showed off yesterday that I think were the best. So let's get into it. But before we get into it, I gotta say that if you're gonna be watching this and seeing my list, you're probably gonna expect to see Hellblade on there, and it is not on there. Hellblade, and as a matter of fact, kind of ticked me off a little because we've seen so much of Hellblade as it is already. This game got announced with the Xbox Series X. It had a gameplay trailer during the Game Awards, and we've gotten deep dives into the behind the scenes of what the team over at Ninja Theory are doing with the tech that they have on their hands. They have went and scanned a whole island. They have done some crazy stuff with facial reconstruction inside the game that looks amazing. And every time I see this game, it looks fantastic. But the thing is that it just looks good. I don't want a game that just looks good. I want a game that has some fun to it. There's nothing fun every time I look at this Hellblade stuff. It just goes downhill more and more for me. And when they showed off this, I thought this was the chance to be like, this game is coming out later 2023, or give a release date of some sort in 2024. But we didn't get that. All we got was her walking in a cave and talking to herself. And it's like, yes, the audio is amazing. Yes, it looks great. But give me some combat. Let me see what's going on. I thought you guys trained her to do combat, and I haven't seen anything. So because of that, I did not include it on the top 5. It has gone down in my anticipation list. I don't think that this is really going to be the game that showcases Ninja Theory as a studio to watch out for. I think it's just going to be more of the same of what we got from the first Hellblade, which is honestly more of a walking simulator. And if that's fine for you, then I think you'll have a good time with it. But I wanted more, and it doesn't seem like I'm going to be getting that. But without that, let's just keep on going. Let's go into the top 5. So starting off the list with number 5, of course, is going to be South of Midnight. South of Midnight was a big surprise for me. I didn't expect to see this game in the way that it showed off. It was something that I was hoping for some gameplay, and I know that we got some in-game footage of it. But I really do like the aesthetic. I like the idea of a gothic monster hunting type game and world. It looked really good. It seems like there's going to be some sort of mystical powers involved. So I'm really excited to see what Compulsion Games has finally been able to conjure up here, that now that they've been acquired, and see their storytelling come to fruition here. They're pretty good at storytelling, but I think what they're really good at is telling a story through just the things that are going on and around your environment. And I know that environmental storytelling is something that they're very strong with. And I think that having the Louisiana kind of background is gonna help a lot. And it really does allow them to explore an endless amount of possibilities for South of Midnight. And I'm excited to see more of this game whenever it does occur. Number 4, I think this one might surprise you guys a little bit, which is Avowed. Avowed was something that I was really hyped to see, and then I got to see it, and I was kind of a little bit taken aback by it. Again, I see a lot of criticism online about the way the game looks, because the way they showed it off with the Avowed trailer a couple years ago, it looked like a more realistic approach to it. But if you've ever played an Obsidian game, then you know that Obsidian doesn't ever really go for the realistic approach to any of their games. like especially with their most recent being Grounded and Outer Worlds and Pentiment. They're all stylized in a certain way, and especially with the Outer Worlds, which I think that they're probably going for anyways, it kind of looks like that, except set in a more Elder Scrolls type environment. Pillars of Eternity, of course. But some of the stuff that did impress me was the different uses of magic, the dual wielding, seeing that. It does look like a fun time. I miss being in a fantasy world, so I hope that Avowed can really transport me into that and have me lose myself in there. Again, Obsidian is great at what they do, and every single time that I kind of doubt them, they always prove me wrong, and I feel like that's going to be the same exact thing with this game. And I know it kind of sucks to hear that it kind of went down on my list a little bit, but the reason why I went down on the list is because the other games that they showed off had bigger moments for me. So Avowed is the 4th spot for me. But moving into number 3, and this also might be a little shocking to a lot of people, is Starfield. Starfield is my number 3. Now, they had a blowout of Starfield at this showcase. They gave us a lot of information. And if you're still dissecting that information, that's fine. I understand how long it's going to take to digest all of that, because it was a lot. And I'm glad that they showed us a lot. But what's crazy about all the stuff that they showed, I'm still like I'm hanging on the edge of my seat here. I'm wondering, what do you guys have left to show us? What else is that going on that we don't see? And some of the things I kind of was hoping to see was how a quest would work, or how the dialogue is going to work. And we really didn't get to see too much of that. We did get to see the one fan annoying character like we did with Oblivion come back, which is really nice and kind of hilarious. But the thing that really shook me was how much it improved over the last time they showed it off. There was a significant improvement. I can't believe how much work they've done with the combat, because when they showed off the combat in the previous gameplay trailer, it looked so flat. It looked so boring. It looked so floaty, and there was no recoil of any sort. But looking at this, there feels like there's weight behind the guns. And they even talk about how, depending on the gun that you have in zero grav, it can actually push you back. And if you're someone that spends a lot of time in zero gravity, you might want to go to an electromagnetic type weapon that uses that instead, so there is no recoil to it that won't cause you to get pushed back, which is something that's a gameplay style and an element that has never been messed with. And this is just opening up new possibilities to creation and to how you tackle the world. That is wild to me. The amount of stuff that you could do in just flying around in space, like talking to the pirates or aiding them, or running from them, or destroying them, and being able to kind of shoot out specific parts of their ship to cause them to lose power, so you could go and board them if you want to do that. That gives you a lot of play styles. It gives you a lot of flexibility, and it allows you to play the game how you want to play, which is really cool. I again think that 1,000 planets is kind of a lot, a little bit too much. But the resources, I wonder how big of a factor that plays into things, because it seems like they've even stated that depending on the planet and its location from the sun, it could just be a resource heavy planet that you just go mine resources. And it kind of brings into question, what are these resources used for? Probably for the creation of your ship, for weapons and mods and things like that. But there has to be a little bit more to it, I would hope. But yeah, this game really blew me away with how much stuff they were willing to show. We also ended up getting confirmation about what the frame rate is going to be for the series consoles. Or the Xbox Series X, you're gonna have a 4K 30 frames per second experience, and for the Xbox Series S, you're gonna have more of a 1440p 30 frames per second option. There is no 60 frames per second option, and if people are surprised by that, I don't think you really should be. This is something that you could kind of expect, especially after seeing the scope of what they're trying to go for. I would be surprised that even the strongest PCs are going to be able to maintain something above 120 frames. Like, that just would blow my mind if that's capable of being possible, just because of how big this world is. But also, I understand that, a lot of people are upset about this, about not being able to play 30 frames or not being able to play 60 frames per second. This is something that doesn't concern me, because I'm able to get used to that. I've been playing 30 frames per second, all of the 360 generation, all the Xbox One generation. So I kind of can get used to it. You just need to take some time to adjust, and it's all fine for me. But I understand that it can be an issue for some. and I'm sorry if it is, but if it is, then you're probably gonna have to upgrade your rig to a PC and play on PC if you're really that concerned about frame rate. But it's just the nature of the beast, right? It is because of how expansive it is, because of being able to pick up little things and then keep them in a room, and it's always, the game's always going to remember where that item is. That all that takes a lot of functionality to occur, and I guess that's what they chose for it to be. And if that's what it is, that's what it is. And the thing is, people are going to buy it either way. It's already the #1 best-selling game on Steam right now, and it's not even out yet. So you could probably imagine how successful this game is, how much playtime is going to be dedicated to Starfield, and how this is going to be, Starfield is going to be the next big thing for a long time coming. And I'm glad they did a full breakdown on it. And I'm excited to see more. Number 2 is going to be Fable, and which is pretty wild to me because Fable is something that's really close to my chest. And watching the Fable trailer, I really enjoyed it. I thought they captured the British humor very well. I love that they used wanker in the trailer. And I love that they subverted expectations with the look of the hero, and having them be more of an average looking person, which is, I thought, pretty hilarious. And there's a lot of things in the trailer that felt good to me, and it was an in-game trailer. So a lot of people are saying it's CG. It's not CG. It might be CG mixed with in-game, but there was actual gameplay showed in the trailer that a lot of people are thinking is CG, and that's actually pretty impressive to think about, because that just shows that Playground Games is a master with the technology. They're able to be able to perform differently with they're just a different team. There's, if any team can make a game look like that, it's probably the Coalition, and it's probably Playground. Let's be real here. I had kind of low expectations for the character models because of the way they look in Horizon, and I know that Horizon, they're not really the prime thing about the game. It's all about the cars, but I still had some worries about that. But looking at this trailer and seeing how photorealistic some of that stuff is, it looks really fantastic. The thing is about Fable, and I kind of hope that they don't kind of divert from it too much, is this looks like it's tackling fables, like the Giant and the Red Riding Hood and fables like that. Those old stories that we used to be told as children. That's what it seems to be like it's going after, which is a lot different from the Fable that I'm used to on the 360, because that's not really what it was about. It was about creating a hero and going out and changing the world and altering the world due to your corruption, due to your greed, due to your hospitality. You could change everything based off of a lot, and I didn't really see that in this trailer. I kind of wanted to see a good and a bad to it. I want to be able to know that I have that freedom to make the choices that I can make and be evil or be good. And that's what I'm hoping for. I know this is the first kind of trailer that we've actually seen of Fable other than a title card. But this game looks like it's moving along just fine, and they're still hiring a lot of people. So I'm assuming this is just like a vertical slice of what to expect. And hopefully it looks the way it does whenever it finally comes out. But hopefully they don't go too far away from what made Fable. But I don't mind the little changes here and there. And that leads me to my number 1 game of the show, which was Clockwork Revolution. This game blew me away. I was absolutely floored with this. And it was a game that they ended up at the end of the show here. But man, does this game look so awesome. It is a type of game that's set in a steampunk world, and I didn't expect this game to be here at all. But it kind of gives me a lot of BioShock vibes, which is not a bad thing because a lot of games haven't done that steampunk kind of type of world. So BioShock being the biggest to actually complete that and have a big audience, of course, it's going to kind of give a lot of people that feel. But man, did they handle it well. And because it is an RPG, I can't wait to see the types of characters that I can create and build, and the way I can change the world depending on my actions. It seems like there's some time traveling going on. It seems that your actions are actually going to matter and change the outcome of what happens in the city and the town around you and affect the lives of the NPCs that you see walking the street. And I think that's really creative. And I think that if they're able to handle that and show what they're capable of, inXile is going to become a top dog over at Microsoft if they're able to nail this game. They showed off some gameplay, which is really nice. I didn't expect that at all. I thought it was going to be a CGI trailer, but there was some gameplay with it. I love the way the design of the weapons looked. I love some of the character design and art, and the robots and the mechs, the automatrons, all of those being in place looks so natural to the world. And it looks like there's so much personality going on here that I want it right now. I want to take a big old chunk out of it, and I just want to play this. I want to play it on my TV right now. Why is it not out? Xbox, do better. That's all I gotta say about that. But yeah, this was a really solid showcase. It was really great. There was some disappointing aspects to it. Like I said before, Avowed kind of disappointed me a little bit. I don't know. I'm not sure why. It wasn't the whole way it looks. I don't think that's an issue. It just, I don't know. It just didn't show out as I thought it would. But I was also bummed out about not seeing a Fable remaster of anything. I thought that was going to be a shoo-in, and apparently it's not a shoo-in. Maybe it's still out there somewhere. But if it doesn't happen by next year's E3 or Xbox Game Showcase, then I don't think it's ever going to come. And that's kind of a sad thought to have. But what do you guys think? Do you think my list is wrong? If so, you're wrong, because this list is all encompassing. This is the list for everybody. So if you're not agreeing with it, then you're just wrong, because this is the right list. So if you don't agree with me, why? What are your top 5 announcements? It doesn't have to be just Xbox, because I did see the Star Wars trailer. That looked awesome. I did see the Yakuza trailer. That looked great. Like, I was really in love with that. I love the Persona trailers. But what do you guys think of the Xbox Game Showcase? What would you give it? What were your top 5 games? Let me know in the comment section below. I appreciate you for stopping by. I appreciate you for watching up until this point. And be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so that way you can't miss any of my content, because I sporadically upload at random times. I'm a strange individual. But thank you. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Remember, take it easy.